in fact, lashed the city. Several low-lying areas have been waterlogged due to the overnight rain. The rains have also caused Bengaluru's Bellandur lake to froth, and despite the civic authorities' attempts of covering the lake with a mesh, the froth is now threatening to spill on the road. Sreeja joining us now live. Sreeja, first of all, take us through the latest. Give us an update on what's the situation at the moment in Bengaluru and across the state of Karnataka.
Well, as far as the Bellandur lake is concerned, in fact, people have reached a saturation point. They have given up on the government because remember, we already saw how two governments have come. Right now, the second government, which is taking stock of situation, and several governments have come and gone by several promises also. We saw how even the last government had come up with an expert committee report, but clearly we see that they have not been, successful in implementing all those measures, the long-term and short-term measures. So just one spell of rain, and this is the situation. What we saw is that this morning, the froth, in fact, spewing onto the residents, also including the pedestrians who are trying to cross that particular stretch of road with us, which is the Bellandur road. And remember, we're not just talking about the pedestrians over there, we're talking also about students. And, remember that vicinity has become really unbearable considering the fact of the filth it has accumulated, the Bellandur lake. Apart from that, we also see the froth has climbed up almost a 10 feet mesh, and you can only imagine the mesh was put up as a temporary measure by the BDA, the Bengaluru Development Authority, to ensure that the froth does not flow out onto the road or spill onto the road. But that is clearly not the situation. We also see this mesh also has got burnt in the froth also. So that is the extent of chemicals that is there in that particular water body. And the situation now, we saw just 2 months ago, Deputy CM Dr. Parameshwara, he did in fact visit this particular water body. He took stock of situation. He informed the residents and also briefed the media by saying that in the next 2 months, they are going to ensure that there won't be any froth. But you can see that even though the new government has come by, we can see new promises are being made, but there is no work on ground.
And we at Mirror Now, Sreeja, have been reporting the situation at Bellandur Lake time and again. We've been asking the authorities on what's being done. But as you mentioned, all that they have to offer is fake excuses and one explanation after the other. This time around, as you mentioned, with the new government coming in, not much has been done. These are dramatic visuals of froth spilling out of the lake and would also be very soon causing inconvenience to the commuters because, as you mentioned, anytime now it can spill onto roads as well. And that's going to be a huge inconvenience to commuters and be very hazardous for health as well.
Well, absolutely, because remember, we're talking about the kind of money that has been pumped into this kind of a project to ensure that Bellandur Lake does not froth. Now, you have to reach the grassroots level as far as the froth is concerned. So the first point, what we do understand is that there are several industries operating within the 5-kilometer radius of the Bellandur and also Vartur Lake. Now, we understand that the Pollution Control Board did at one point in time, because of the pressure which mounted on them from the media as well as from the people's side, we understand they took stock of situation. They went and shut down the industries, about 97 industries. But what we do know right now is that some of the industries have also in fact come back in the same area. They're still continuing to operate. We also hear from the citizens that they continue to let the effluents into the water body. So where really is the government working is the question that citizens are asking. Eventually, it is the citizens who are suffering because remember, it's the taxpayers' money that is going, ensuring that the government takes up the project. But clearly we do not see any work which is being carried out on ground. Remember, we're also talking about the experts committee report. What really happened to that report is the question activists are asking, because if you clearly remember, IASC had drafted that report and which spoke about the long-term measure, the installation of STPs which would take place only in the year 2020. But after that, we are also looking at the short-term measures, which is installation of aerators, and also to ensure that the industry stop completely letting the effluents into the water body. But clearly that has not been happening.
All right, Sreeja, we leave it at that. Thanks for getting us that update there.